My name is Mario D'Artenzio, and this is my wife, Carrie. In 2009, I created the Death2Life Revolution after looking at some pretty staggering stats. And one of the stats that really stood out to me was kids 7 to 18 years old were on the computer using some sort of technology over 7.5 hours a day, and how we can minister to that culture using media, using the technology that they're obviously already using. So that's why we created Death2Life. And our focus is evangelism through the internet and discipleship through the internet.
And so Death2Life was born out of a passion for reaching a culture that's not being reached by the typical American church. And that passion for evangelism also has driven a passion for follow-up with kids, leading kids to Christ, seeing kids come to Christ, but then following up with them, making sure that they've been discipled, making sure they know who Jesus is and what he taught and what the Bible truly says, and then ultimately and most importantly connecting them with a local church for fellowship and follow-up, and just living a life connected to other believers. God has grown the ministry beyond that to really giving us a lot of connections with kids who are suicidal and helping prevent suicide. We now have online counselors who can deal effectively with those kids and kids who have other questions, spiritual questions, but also life and death questions.
And that's what we do. We come alongside these kids and say, hey, this is what's next. This is what the journey looks like for a follower of Christ. And the next step is to get plugged into a church. So God has taken this ministry when we started in 2009, and we've seen extraordinary numbers. We disciple thousands of kids a month, and it's all done through our website. And then through that, we're able to take these kids that want to take that next step, and that's to get plugged into a church. And then we intentionally get those kids plugged in to churches all around the world. Because we partner with ministries, evangelists that are on the front line. We call them frontline partners. These are the guys and the gals that minister to that unchurched culture.
And these are evangelists who are relevant to the youth culture. They're unique because the youth look up to them and listen to them in a way that they wouldn't listen to me or to Mario. And so because of that, they have a platform where kids are listening to them, and these evangelists are obviously sharing the gospel.
Now, who do we use? Who are our frontline partners? Our frontline partners are professional athletes. They're professional athletes that are professional skateboarders, pro BMX guys, professional BMX riders, professional snowboarders, Olympic snowboarders, celebrities that are outside of the box, celebrities that don't fit in to mainstream culture. They're celebrities, all the people that we minister with, that we partner with, that we're the what's next, the follow-up for, don't fit in to the church, the typical church model of today. And they minister to the unchurched culture.
This isn't a ministry just for boys. I think even we were surprised by how many girls and how many women reach out to us. You know, majority of the contacts we get about suicide are girls. And 40% of our site users are girls or women. So it's not just boys who are interested in the X Games and in these celebrities, but the girls are listening to them as well.
I mean, it is absolutely amazing. It's wild when you see when these guys and gals speak to the unchurched. The unchurched listen. And they're like, man, you know what? That's what it means to be a follower of Christ. I can look like that. I can be gnarly like that. I don't have to fit in this prototypical, model that everybody says, especially in America, that you need to look like. No, we're breaking that. That's the whole point of Death2Life, is the focus of Jesus. Who is Jesus? That's our focus. But we're utilizing these evangelists who love the Lord first and foremost, but have a platform to a generation that we could never touch. Perfect example of this is a ministry that we're partnered with called Untitled Skateboards. They go literally around the world, do demos, ride their skateboards on ramps, do flips, do what the kids love and are interested in, present the gospel, and then they're given a card to our ministry that directs them back to our ministry. They're given a baseball type card of the athlete that presented the gospel. So there's that connection there. Oh, this dude just presented the gospel to me, talked about Jesus, and now I'm going to go back to the website, Death2Life.com. Why Generation Y? I think it starts with, what is Generation Y? And it's that age range from 15 to 29 years old. That is our heartbeat. Generation Y has just recently birthed. When we started the ministry in 2009, our focus was discipleship. Our focus was being a resource for these frontline partners, for these evangelists that go around the world, that we would be the what's next. But the more we start talking to churches, the more we start building a relationship with the church, they were looking at our website going, man, how can we be involved with what you're doing? And then I started probing a bit. What are you guys struggling with? I can see the majority of the churches in America today, they do a great job with discipleship. Once the kids are in the doors, they do a wonderful job sitting down with them and feeding them spiritually. It's actually getting these kids to the church. That is the problem. So that's what we've done with Project Generation Y and with the Death2Life. We've created an evangelism tool that a church can use to enfold the unchurched back in to their church. How do we go about doing that? I mean, it's very simple. We create evangelism cards for a church. We create a landing page for you and your church and your youth group. So let's say a youth group, like, man, you know what? I love what Death2Life stands for. I want to be a part of Project Generation Y. What you're going to get is you're going to get your own personal landing page with a video done by either the youth pastor or the pastor at the church. Hello, I'm Pastor Joe. Welcome to the website. You're going to be going to the evangelism part, the follow-up part, or the training part of our website. It's going to be personalized for that church, specifically for that church. So a youth, what will happen is then the kids in the youth group will take that card specifically done for that youth group. They'll go on their campus, they'll infiltrate their campus, they'll hand out those evangelism cards to the unchurched on their campus. The card is going to be a pretty gnarly card. It's going to get that kid back to the website, and it'll go directly to the landing page. We're going to create a QR code. You're going to have your own QR code. The kid will be able to be on campus that gets that card, will be able to scan the QR code. It'll go directly to that church's landing page. So there's that connection. What will happen next is that kid, that guy or gal, will be exposed to the gospel. If they're lukewarm in their faith, they have no idea what it means to be a follower, they'll go through the online training. If they have questions, we won't even hear about it. It'll go directly to that youth pastor. But it'll be that connection, and that's what we wanted to create. So what's in it for you? There's a reason why you've received this presentation. We want to be partnered with what you're doing. We want to be a part of what you're doing. We want you to be involved with the Death2Life Revolution and all of our frontline partners. That's why you've received this video. How cool would it be to be a part of what you guys are doing in your community, and you guys being a part of a worldwide outreach revolution that we're doing with the Death2Life Revolution?